We've been talking about programmatic for a number of years, and it's kind of gone through a cycle of remnant to being highly respectable. Tell me sort of the way that you guys here at Condé Nast see the programmatic opportunity as a publisher.
Yeah, I think it's interesting just in your opening there about, we've only been talking about it for a few years, and that feels like it's been a lot longer than that, right? Feels like programmatic's been around forever, but reality is it is still new, and it's still very much evolving. And I think one of the ways that is evolving, as you note, is it's gone from kind of this open-bidded marketplace where it's a bit of a spray and pray in hope that you get good impressions and good audiences, to now a much, much more refined way in which to transact on media. So I can speak specifically about some of the things we're doing here at Condé, which is really around, how do we leverage the efficiency of the programmatic transaction, but still be able to deliver against the great content and audiences that Condé Nast provides. And we do that across a number of ways. So if you think about programmatic guaranteed, the ability to take both page and placement and assemble those and transact on that programmatically. Programmatic preferred, where we can kind of come in and say, hey, here are the sites and sections that you can have your ads run. And then we're also doing a lot of private marketplaces, where we're actually customizing a bundle of inventory and allowing that to be transacted through a deal ID or header bidder. And we're now doing that. What started off as display, and that's moved over to video. So the ability, again, to realize the efficiency of a programmatic transaction, but still be able to deliver specifically on whether it be content or audiences.
And what are the kind of buyers that are in the programmatic mix?
Well, I mean, it's certainly all your traditional agencies, I mean, the agencies who have really kind of driven the trend towards programmatic, primarily from an efficiency standpoint. But more and more, we are seeing individual advertisers who, have begun to get more educated about things like header bidding and the ability for them to go through that. Now, I would say that the large majority of the mass is still coming from the big agencies, which is where we've got major relationships. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it requires a pretty significant tech investment to make sure that that plumbing is set up to be able to transact that way.
And Jim, you came from sort of from one of the walled gardens, maybe not one of the biggest, but what is the opportunity or the need or the kind of from a publisher like Condé Nast and some of your buyers to transaction in a programmatic sense outside of the duopoly of Google and Facebook?
Well, I think it's access to content is what it comes down to. And if you think about both Google and Facebook as predominantly platforms and technology-based companies, you've got publishers like Condé Nast and others. We are the ones that are creating this world-class content that also, and part of that too, what goes along with world-class content is trusted audiences, brand-safe environments, and that's been, as you well know, a big issue in our industry. And I think what Condé Nast offers is the ability, like I had said, to find that efficiency from a transactional standpoint, but yet still be able to, in a programmatic setting, which is not always the case, ensure brand safety, ensure things like viewability when it comes to video, guarantee audiences, and make sure that the content is content that brands trust and both consumers trust and brands trust. And that's what a publisher like Condé does provide. Where we're best utilized is when we are helping brands tell their stories. And if you think of the heritage of Condé Nast, and Condé Nast for well over 100 years has been rooted in trusted journalism, high quality content, and great storytelling. And so when you take the heritage of Condé Nast and that skill set and apply it at a brand setting, that's allowing brands to help them tell their story. And I'll just give you an example. One of the things that we see specifically in the fashion and luxury category is just the evolution of the way in which those brands are telling their stories, which has really kind of begun to move from a very traditional image-based print spread, if you will, think of like the metaphorical lookbook, to one that's much more involved in storytelling, whether that be a written story or a short film that we've seen a lot of the fashion and luxury brands produce. Video, social influencer is another way in which brands are trying to tell their story in a very different way. And I think what Condé does provide is the opportunity for not only high quality storytelling, but across multiple platforms, whether it be text and image, video, social, and so forth. What we like to think of ourselves as is rooted in quality content and brand safety through trusted journalism, but the ability to be really flexible on the way in which those brand stories get told.